Welcome to episode 25 of the Mile 20 podcast, where epic shit happens. I'm Maggie, and I'm here with my mothers, Lori and Laura.
Hello.
Hello.
And this week we're talking about all things the Blob, Blobfest, and Blobfest Run.
Woohoo.
Yay.
Yes, so that will be the contents of this episode along with our Epic Week update. And if you're checking us out for the first time, thanks for joining us. We do have an Instagram and Facebook account as well as a YouTube account if you want to watch the episodes and see what we look like.
Because we're kind of changing up our format. We're not in the Harry Potter closet today.
No.
We're upstairs.
In Laura's wonderful family room, which is gorgeous.
Yeah, we didn't want to put Maggie in that awkward stance that we put poor Julie in a couple episodes ago, where we were sitting in our little tiny table and poor Julie sat between us like going, like just looking back and forth at the two of us. We're like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll have to check us out everywhere at Mile 20 Podcast. I do work very hard on all the social medias, so
She does.
Definitely check them out. It's very fun being behind the scenes in their world.
But I like bringing you into the fold the past couple episodes. It's been fun.
Yeah.
She's our social media queen.
She's
the bestest.
She is.
Thank you. So, should we dive into our beverage of the week?
Yes.
Yes, let's do it. Laura, that's all you.
Well, to commemorate what we did yesterday, and we drank a bottle of wine. We did running the Blob half marathon. We have a lovely another bottle of Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc, because that's what we drank yesterday. I am happy to report this is going to be a lot colder
Yay.
than the wine we drank yesterday.
It was fine.
In fact, we debated on whether or not we were actually even going to have a beverage this evening, because we're kind of beveraged out.
My liver right now is going, Mercy, stop.
No more!
Uncle, please stop.
Uncle.
Speak for yourself. I didn't drink yesterday, so I'm excited.
God. All right, so cheers to the Blob.
Cheers to the Blob.
Is this a Kim Crawford Sauvignon?
Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc.
I had it yesterday. It was delicious.
Yeah, I didn't have a lick of alcohol yesterday, so
That tastes much better than it
nice
did yesterday.
and refreshing.
God, it just got piss hot yesterday.
It was fine, though. I actually didn't.
It was better than drinking the red during the Broad Street run, I'll have to say.
Yeah, 100% better.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I feel like we'll need to do a full comparison when we talk about the race. But
Yes, we will. We're jumping ahead for sure.
before we get to all things Blobby, any good week updates?
I will share that I had a lovely dinner with my parents on Friday night. Jim went down to our house in Maryland. He was hell-bent on learning how to fish for stripers, which are bass, in the Chesapeake. So he spent the weekend there, knowing that I had the race on Sunday. And so I had dinner with my parents on Friday night. My mom made an absolutely lovely meal. I went over to their house. And my nephew was there as well. So my sister and my brother-in-law went out on a date, which was cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So my nephew, William, was with us. And I had the opportunity to show my parents some home videos that I had taken on. They were on VHS. Remember the little tiny VHS?
Yeah.
And I had taken a lot of videos in the early 90s, and I had them converted to digital. So I had them on a drive, and I had that done around Christmas time, and just really haven't had the opportunity to show my parents the videos until, really like having, like this past Friday night. And the reason being is that I had video of my brother Ned, who has passed away. And Jim and I had visited Ned in Texas it was Texas, when he was a recruit in the Air Force. And I had video of him brushing his teeth and flexing his muscles.
Aww.
And, so here he is, late teens, early 20s.
Prime.
And yeah, and it was emotional. And I also had video of, my dad in his 50s, so I'm thinking like my dad was probably about my age, and I have video of him like bathing Maddie in their bathtub up in New York. And so we had super highs and you know, a lot of crying and hugging. And it was just a very, very special couple of hours that I spent with my parents. So that was what I did. And I'm glad that I did it in that setting and not within a big group, because we could talk and reminisce, and, you know, that was special.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
How about you guys?
Well, I think you're missing something. Didn't you also spend some time doing one of your favorite hobbies this
Oh,
weekend?
God. So, yeah. And I'm kind of, you were like, you were ready to kick my ass because I did this. So,
you know what? I've learned just
Lori.
no, there's no kicking your ass, because you do it anyway.
I kicked my own ass.
You know, you already have done this before.
I know.
So you know.
I know.
So there's no sense.
Anybody want to guess what my hobby is? It's gardening. And because I have been gone the past couple of weeks on vacation, and then we've just been going. I still had dead dandelion leaves, leaf remnants from the spring in my gardens. And my gardens have never been this much of a mess. So Saturday, after we walked with Julie, so we got to spend some great, and that should have been one of my mentions as well.
Well, I was going to mention it also, because that's definitely part of my epic
It was
week
the highlight.
update. Yeah.
And so after I ran some errands, I spent about 6 hours in the garden on Saturday in about 90-degree heat. Because then that's always a great prep for the day before a half marathon.
Yeah,
and then
of course.
after I got back from the half marathon, I got back here around 12:45. I was in the gardens until about 6 o'clock last night, and they were done. I took a shower last night, and I sat on the back deck, and I looked at my gardens, and it was like, yes, they're where they need to be at again. So,
in case I've never said this in any other of our previous episodes, Laura is the most productive person I've ever met.
It's true.
Next to Maggie. Maggie is also incredibly productive, but I think Laura's still way next level productive.
Which is funny. Which is funny
because
because Maggie yesterday, when I told you guys, or this morning, whenever it was that I was in the garden, she's like, "Psycho," and I'm like, "Oh no, you will be that person in a couple of years."
Yes.
But probably in different ways. I don't know if
Yes.
gardening will be my thing, but yes,
you will find your thing. And
type A, have to be busy.
Yes.
I cracked my eyes open Saturday morning before Blobfest activities, and I was like, time to make social media posts for 2.5 hours before anyone wakes up. Started editing stuff.
And that is exactly that. Yes, you get my vibe.
Yeah.
You get my vibe. So yes. Yeah. I go kind of OCD when I see any kind of weed in my garden, and it's just, that it means I'm not doing my job. So
Yeah. I get it. I understand the obsession.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh man.
I know.
6 hours.
I know.
Really?
I know.
Okay.
It's
okay.
And she hasn't run in 3 weeks because 2 weeks on vacation, and
it's
then
a training
1
run.
week
It's
sick.
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I paid for it.
It's fine.
It's okay. We'll talk about it when we're talking about the run. So what about you? What did you do the past couple of days?
Well, this last week, as everybody knows, I was at Cranberry Lake last week when we recorded.
You cried when you left.
It was very depressing.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I know.
Yeah, it's just so pretty. It's really hard to leave, but I left on Friday and got home. I got up, spent some time with the family. Dave is awesome. He got off of work Friday afternoon, and he was or a little early, it was 4:30. He goes, "Let's do happy hour," and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it," even though I really didn't need to. And so me, DJ, Mari, and Dave all went to a happy hour at a little brewery that's nearby called VK Brewing. I'd never been there before.
So, fun fact.
Yeah, you know somebody, right, who owns it.
My sister's next door neighbor, Najib. So Najib, I'm giving you
Shout out.
Najib and Jenna.
Yes.
They are co-owners of VK Brewing.
Yeah, so we went there because
Yes.
I'd heard. I'm like, and I was sitting there going, I know somebody who knows one of the owners here. Could not think of who it was.
That would be me.
Anyway, so we had a lovely Friday night
Love it.
dinner, and then Saturday morning I set my alarm early and woke up because Julie was like, I think we explained that she had a little bit of a health thing that was going on, and she called it. It was like, hey, does anybody want to walk on Saturday? We're like,
Yes.
You don't skip a call from Julie when she wants to go do something. So I had really not spent a lot of time with her because of being at Cranberry Lake. So felt so good to give her a huge hug, and yeah, that was great. Spending, an hour walking.
By the way, your mom gets out of the Jeep, and I haven't seen her in 3 weeks, right?
Right.
She gets out of the Jeep and she sees Julie, now rightfully so, runs over and gives Julie like this big bear hug. And then
Hey,
I
you.
get nothing.
Wait, I walk back to the Jeep and I doing some things, and then I lock and I put my key away, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Laura. I'm like, sorry, Laura, you're hug too.
Sup?
Well, I feel like even though we don't see each other, we're doing the podcast thing, so it's like I see you anyway.
I know. I totally had to give you shit though. It was it was funny.
It's fair. It's fair.
It was funny.
Fair.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, which we'll get into in a little bit, I went to Phoenixville to do the Blobfest.
You blobbed.
Stuff.
You blobbed. You blobbed all weekend long.
We blobbed all weekend,
yeah.
yeah. And then last night or yesterday after the half marathon, I went over to my dad's house, even though they weren't there. My brothers were there with the kids. We hung out. The kids were swimming. And then my parents got home. The kids and my brothers left, and then I had a lovely visit with just my dad and stepmom.
Oh, that's
And then
so
we went out
nice.
to dinner, and it was one of those nights. There are times where I sit down with the dinner with them, and we just the conversation just doesn't stop.
I love
and
that.
It's just such great conversing that I don't know. We were sitting in TJ's for 2 hours having dinner, and it was a really nice, lovely Sunday evening.
I love that. All right, so quick question.
Yes.
How cold was the pool?
Perfect. It was
Was it?
lovely still.
Okay.
Yeah. My parents do not heat their pool, and so in times it can be extremely frigid, and I refuse to swim in it. But no, I actually would have gotten in, but I'd already showered after the half marathon. I'm like, I don't feel like showering again, so I was just dipping my legs in.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. All right, what about you, Maggie?
Well, besides working all week, I just did Blob stuff. So I'll kind of talk about my Friday night, if that's okay, before talking
Absolutely.
about Saturday and stuff.
Yeah, let's and then we can
So
dive in.
Connor's parents came up to spend the weekend with us for Blobfest on Friday night, or they came Friday
Which I
midday.
love that they came in for that.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
That when they were leaving, they were like, "Are there fall festivals and Christmas festivals?"
I love it. Oh, that's so
They
awesome.
can't wait to come back. But
That's so awesome.
yeah, they got there around 2-ish on Friday, so Connor showed them Ursinus, which is where he works. And then Friday night we went to dinner at Rivertown Taps, which was great. And then we just walked through town. We went to the chocolate store, and they had Blob-themed chocolates that were in a box engraved with the Colonial Theater.
Oh, that's neat.
And the chocolates it was just Blob of what they have. So it's white chocolate, pistachio, milk chocolate, pretzel, cranberry, dark chocolate all over. So it was kind of like a stack. It was literally a blob of chocolates. But
Nice.
they were great. It was great. So we got some
Each
chocolates.
bite is a surprise of something,
Exactly.
right? Oh my gosh.
And then, so the Blob, I know we've talked about this before, is a movie there's a scene in the movie shot at the Colonial Theater where they're watching the movie, then they run
In
out of the movie.
Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
In
Yes.
Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And so that is where Connor and I live now, right downtown. So Friday night and Saturday afternoon, they do a run out, which we learned it's its own ticket you have to buy, but you can watch as a spectator from the outside. So Friday night, we lined up.
Pause 1 second.
Yeah.
So just to dive a little deeper into the movie. It's a movie. It's a classic movie from 1958.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show, where it's I think it was portrayed to be serious, but it takes on a comical aspect as it's aged. I feel like that's a little bit about where the Blob is right now. And it's basically this thing falls from outer space, and it's a blob, and it starts as almost the size of maybe a volleyball.
Yeah.
And it starts consuming people and live animal things and gets bigger and bigger. And so towards the end of the movie, it gets so big, it's surrounding a movie theater.
Yeah.
And so in the movie, they're which is shot again in Phoenixville at the Colonial Theater. That's where it was shot in 1950s. Everybody runs out of the theater in blind panic because the Blob is coming.
The Blob
So-
is oozing into the movie
yes,
theater.
yes.
So there's in the movie, people are tripping over themselves. They're rolling, they're throwing their popcorn. So you can buy a special ticket to do the run out of the theater, We didn't do that, but we lined up. Like, they literally have barricades.
I saw your pictures
Yeah.
and then the video because originally you sent a static picture. I'm like, what am I looking at?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Maggie.
That's
Yeah.
why I texted. I'm like, is there a video?
There's a street and barricades. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone comes running out. They like people have like a megaphone. They're like, 8:41, they're coming out at 8:41. So we're just waiting for 8:41. They all come running out. People are like, like doing the whole thing. People are in costumes, like different alien stuff beyond just the Blob. Someone ran out, was like, run quickly straight to stable 12, like to go get a beer. Like, I don't know. Everyone was just like saying funny stuff. And then we were all just like cracking up, like, this is so random.
So
like,
I have to
watching
share the run out scene in the actual movie.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that when people were running out of the theater, there were actually people laughing as they were coming out? And then there was a scene where you saw people with very distinctive clothing on, and then you saw them run out again.
Oh, I did not notice
I didn't notice that either.
Because I zoomed in. So I watched the movie on the plane coming back from Portugal. And I said to the two of them, I was like, you have to watch the movie because it's like an hour and 21 minutes, because that's how long the movie was. An hour and 21 minutes you cannot get back in your life.
Yes, that's true.
You guys had a very, very different experience than
Yes.
me, but like I was zooming in on things in
Yeah.
the movie, and I'm like, oh crap, like that was the same people running out of that theater multiple times.
That's
I believe it. They probably like ran past the camera,
And
circled
then circle back
and came
around.
back.
'Cause
Yeah.
They only had so many extras.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
That's
how
hilarious.
did you guys watch the movie?
Well, before we get there,
Oh, yeah.
I just
I'm
want to
sorry.
wrap up my
I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
You're very good
Yes.
staying on task.
Yes.
I
It's okay.
totally interrupted
Yes.
you. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's okay. So after we did the run out, we went and got some drinks and cheese curds with Connor's parents. And just generally, it was really fun to hang out with them and have our first like adult people that we hosted in our apartment. And then Friday morning, we went to the bakery around the
Saturday.
corner. So sorry, Saturday morning, we went to the bakery on the corner. They had a Blob themed croissant.
Which was really, really funny because we got to see it on
Yeah.
Sunday morning, and yeah.
They put raspberry all over the top, like
Because the blob is
drippy.
like a reddish
Red.
It's
pink
red.
color, right?
Yeah. And then like eyeballs on it, and it was raspberry lemon. So it was absolutely delicious. And then after that, we, Connor's parents, my parents, and the two of us all went to see the Blob in the Colonial Theater at
But
11 a.m.
without the run out, which was a little
Yes.
sad. Next year, I want to do the run out.
Yes, we were just
And
watching
the
the
costume.
movie.
Yeah.
Right away, I knew it was going to be fun. So they do the intro scene. Beware of the Blob. Yeah. I don't even know
There
how to
is-
describe
so-
this
It was
song.
like like it was like this fun like 1950s.
Oh,
it sounded
yeah.
like Gidget. Do you remember Gidget?
Nobody
and like
who's
where the
listening
surfer.
to our podcast
Oh,
remembers
shit.
Gidget.
Well, like the old surfer movies where
Yes.
it's got like the fun like
It's,
like
cheeky.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
very cheeky
cheeky.
music. Does not sound like a horror movie music.
If you go on to Spotify or wherever you listen to stream your music, if you Google or put in search Beware of the Blob, the theme music is on Spotify, I know for sure.
I'll put it on social media too. But like right away, everyone's like, they know the song. Like they're clapping exactly where the claps are. And the pattern was not recognized. Like it was like one, then there's two claps, then there's three. So like it wasn't easy to pick up. So I'm like, these people know this song.
Oh yeah. They know the movie.
They know the movie.
Yeah.
And then like she explained, it comes down out of the sky and like it comes out of its shell by a guy poking it with a stick. Someone behind us goes, yeah, poke it with the stick, you dumbass. Like people were just hollering at the whole
or
movie.
like, don't touch it. No, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Of course, he goes in and he touches it. I mean, it was like Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was extremely interactive.
Yes.
Okay.
Vocally
Okay.
and everything.
Yeah.
It was just, I had a great I enjoyed it.
And
definitely
Steve
enjoyed it.
McQueen was the lead character
Yes.
in that movie.
Yeah.
Which kind of blew my mind. Now the other can I talk about like a couple of the other aspects of the movie?
Yeah.
So the Colonial Theater in Phoenixville is featured in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the town where this actually happens where the fictitious town is Downingtown, which is I'm in Westchester, PA, and it's right down the street.
Yeah, I mean our kids go to Downingtown
yes.
school districts.
Yes.
I mean,
So it's Downingtown, and then in one scene, the Blob actually it's like one of the final scenes. The Blob starts attacking a diner car, and the diner car where it was filmed is actually a diner called the Blob Diner, which is in Downingtown on Route 30.
Yeah, we run by it on our route 2 to 3 times a week.
Yes.
And I've never stopped to eat there, but now I kind of feel compelled to like eat at the diner.
Yeah. So blew my mind that, you know, on the side of the diner, it actually said Downingtown on the diner. So, you know, so it's cool to see a couple things. And then where did we stop yesterday and took a picture of what house?
Yeah, so
you
Yes,
guys
we did.
stopped?
We did. Found it.
We did. So one of the other prominent locations in the movie is there's a doctor, like the first guy that touches the Blob, gets it all over his hand, and he's like, take me to the doctor. So they take him to the doc's house. It's not a hospital, the doctor's house. I don't know why. I guess maybe the hospitals weren't a big thing back then. But anyway, so there's the house is very prominent in the movie because, you know, the doctor gets taken in the house. It's like a whole thing. House is still standing and is in Phoenixville.
It's beautifully done.
It's gorgeous.
Yes,
yeah.
gorgeous.
I'm a little sad it didn't have a sign out front, like mentioning that it was the
They probably don't want people
location for the
stopping
Blob.
and like taking
Yeah,
pictures.
someone
of
probably
their
lives
house.
there.
No, it looked like it was a salon, like some kind of salon. It was
Yeah.
a business. So
Well, still.
yeah. Anyway, we got to see the filming location for the doctor's house as well.
Yeah.
Going back to the Downingtown thing, the police department is the Downingtown Police Department, so they even like pick up the phone and they go, Downingtown, so it is very prominent, and this is just random, but a funny part from the movie to me was the guy was playing chess through the radio with another cop.
Right.
I don't know, the whole thing was just so funny to watch because everyone was like audibly laughing, which like made it a lot more funny.
I bet.
And at the end, they figure out that they can kill the Blob after it's consumed the Downingtown diner with CO2 or fire hydrants. And at the end,
They froze
They froze it. They froze it.
Yep, they freeze it with the CO2.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen this movie from the 50s, we're going to spoil it.
Spoil it. Yes. Sorry.
But
Fast forward 1 hour and 20 minutes to the very end.
But the very last line of the movie, they're like, okay, like, we're going to freeze this thing and we're going to take it to the Arctic. So we're like, good to go, as long as the Arctic never thaws. And the whole theater ruptures in laughter because of
Climate change.
Like, knowing today what's happening to the Arctic, like, everyone laughs. So I think it was very, like, fun to watch because, like, obviously they can't predict the future. And like things that we know now, like make what's happening and like gender roles that are portrayed and everything. Just hilarious.
Yeah, it was hardcore 1958.
Yeah.
So see, Lori, I'm glad I didn't see the Blob before we went to Alaska, because
Oh, would you have nightmares about the Blob eating your
kayak? I was afraid of the
Blob,
orcas
not my
eating
kayak.
I was afraid of the orcas eating my kayak, and then I would have been afraid of like the Blob like defrosting and like taking me over too. So I'm really glad I didn't see it then.
Yeah.
No, speaking of Steve McQueen, though, being in this movie, like when I'm right at the opening scene, he's, you know, it's like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing and they're teenagers. And I'm sitting there going, how old is Steve McQueen? Because she looks like a teenager. Yeah. He looks like he's like 30.
So interesting fact is that Steve McQueen was the lead character of the Blob, and he was portraying a teenager, right? And he looked like, to your point, like really like stupid old.
Yeah.
He was 27.
What?
And this was his first movie that he ever did. So
maybe it was all the smoking, cigarettes, or something.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that.
like something like, I don't know how somebody went and was casting teenagers and they're like, yeah, dude, you totally look like a teenager.
It was his charisma.
Right?
It is. His fine acting and his charisma.
And his good looks.
I mean, people talk about Steve McQueen to this day, you know, because he did have like that James Dean feel to him. You know?
He did. But he like James Dean, he died early as well. I think we read that he died at like age 50.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah. So yeah, but this was his initial claim to fame was The Blob.
His debut.
His debut.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend. I genuinely think it'd be worthwhile to watch it again in the theater setting.
I would totally do
with
it.
the run out.
Yes, I would totally do it.
And dress up.
And yes, I would totally do it. I was telling Jim about y'all's experience, and I said I want to do that next year.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just so fun. Like, I feel like I haven't watched a movie ever in my life with the crowd reacting like that. Like, it was like so interactive because usually you're like at the movie, it's a debut, no one's seeing it, so everyone just sits there in silence watching. Everyone was so like engaged.
So on my bucket list is seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah,
like
which
that.
they show at the Colonial as well. I actually was thinking about becoming a member of the Colonial.
Because don't you get dibs on tickets then?
Yeah,
if
you
do
get dibs
that?
on tickets and discounts on tickets and stuff. Because I can see going. I think it was like $60 for an individual.
well,
I'm like, why not?
this is jumping ahead a little bit, but the race, the proceeds, I think 100% maybe, but maybe not 100, but a large chunk of our running proceeds to do the race went to the Colonial Theater. They raised over $7,500 for the Colonial Theater, the Blobfest Run itself.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's wonderful.
I love it.
Lots
Just
of money.
reinvest in the history
Yeah.
to go and keep
It's
perpetuating
still, I mean, the Colonial Theater is beautiful. They've done a really great job with keeping it up and remodeling some things, but it's still, it feels like there's still some work to be done, especially up in the balcony area. So I think it does need constant attention. And I feel like the arts have kind of taken a bit of a hit recently. And so it's kind of good to know that something's going back to the arts.
That's awesome.
It feels good.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and so after we watched the movie, we punched around the festival a little bit. They had over 100 venues.
Vendors.
Vendors lining the street.
You said it was like shoulder
packed.
walking room, right?
Yeah, it was packed.
And they have like, you know, just like First Friday in Phoenixville, which we talked about a couple weeks ago too. Like they have where you can open carry and bars are selling things out on the street, outdoor dining. I think you said they were having, do you know who won the window art? Like all the
I don't know.
storefronts had themed windows.
With the Blob.
With a QR code that you could go and vote for your favorite storefront too.
Yeah.
That was all Blob themed.
Yeah, and they did, there was live music during the whole block party. It was 11 to 5 on Saturday. There was live music the whole time. They did a
love that.
costume contest. There was like a kid zone, painting. There was just so many activities. We did like a little lunch snacky thing with Connor's parents at the boardroom, which was a super cool.
Never had been into
place.
the boardroom before. It was very cool. Great food, fabulous cocktails. We actually were talking about like
we should record here.
we should record here.
Was that the Froze? The Froze
Yes,
place?
that was the Froze place.
I heard about the Froze.
Yeah, so we sit down and I saw that they had a sign out front, you know, because they had a window open for people to open carry and walk around where they were selling Frozes out the window, which kind of drew us in. But I'm like, I need lunch. Can we go sit down? It's 98 degrees out here and just cool down for a bit.
And I was gardening at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we sit down and we're relaxing and we're getting food and I order my drink. I'm like, can I have one of the Frozes? He's like, sure. Leaves, comes back. He's like, the machine's down. I'm so sorry. Can I get you
Froze.
something else?
That's horrible too, because of Froze. If you're like wanting that like refreshing,
Yeah.
It was a good
Yeah,
Frozen
yeah.
too.
But instead, they had this delicious, I can't remember, it was watermelon something. So it was equally as refreshing that I ordered. And they brought that. So I'm sitting there sipping my cocktail, minding my business. And this guy comes out. He's like, okay, your Froze's ready. And I'm like, what?
She was literally double fisting at a nice lunch. I was like, wow. Like it was it's a
Maggie,
nice
but Maggie, it's your mom.
I'm like, okay, I guess we're having watermelon and Froze.
Oh my gosh, that's so
It was
funny.
great. And we did lots of family talk with Connor's parents and my parents, just like getting into like cousin history and like family drama. It was just a great little lunch
Every
that we
family's got
had.
drama.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
it
love
was
that.
fun.
I love that.
But anyway, if you are like into historical movies or cheeky kind of old movies like that and you enjoy unique weekends somewhere, I would highly recommend if you're willing to travel for something like that. I think the Blobfest would be a really cool thing to try and come and do, or even in the local area, come and check it out next year.
I thought it was interesting. You both also shared a very interesting fact with me about Phoenixville, and something that was shared by Travel and Leisure.
Yes.
Right? So what was that?
I read an article recently. I don't know how it popped up on me, but it was from Travel and Leisure.
They knew you were going to the Blob.
Yeah. It says 10 best small towns to live in the U.S., and it's according to real estate experts. I don't know who that is, but this is in Travel and Leisure, and I feel like they're legit. And as I was thumbing through them, they always start at 10, and you go down to 1. Number 1, believe it or not, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah. I know, because I feel like the outskirts of Philadelphia, one of the perks of this area is how adorable our small town scene is. From Doylestown north to Westchester in the south.
Maddie and Matthew living in Ardmore.
Kennett Square. I mean, there's just so many really cute small towns in the surrounding areas.
And we're really lucky because, I mean, especially in Phoenixville, the restaurant and bar scene is phenomenal. And for you and Connor, I mean, everything is within walking distance. And to your point, Lori, all of the towns that you just mentioned all have fabulous restaurant and bar scenes, and not like crazy bars. I mean, there's one or two probably in Westchester because of the university, but I mean, like nice bars,
like
and
wine
classy bars and
tapas,
and so we're very, very fortunate. I mean, we've gone to some places throughout our travels, and I mean, Maggie, you've been with us on some of these, right? Where you struggle with, okay, we have like 2 places where we can choose from to go and eat. And then there's nothing else within like a 20-mile radius. And we can drive 20, 30 minutes around, any of our houses and, just land at just some phenomenal restaurants.
Oh, yeah. Very tasty. Wonderful.
In fact, talking about good restaurants, just a little bit of, down the rabbit hole. So the date that I mentioned that my sister and Keith went on Friday night,
where'd they go?
My sister was like, I need a, a fresh new place for us to eat. I feel like, we're just kind of going to the same places. But she's like, I want it to be, a little bit more upscale. And I initially suggested the Noble Goat. And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like rattling off a bunch of different places. And so somehow they ended up going to the Noble Goat, which is in Downingtown.
Yeah, I have yet to go there.
I've never even heard of that.
It's right near the Twin Valley. That's
it's right across from it.
Apartment.
Okay.
It's right at the base of the apartment buildings. Yeah. And I hate that I'm like kind of putting this out here, but I tell you what.
But we wanted to stay in business.
The decor is absolutely fabulous. It is so well done. The food it has a little bit of an eclectic, kind of like the place you were describing.
Yeah, Rivertown Taps. Not for everyone.
Well, so this isn't as to that extreme, but they have just some really cool twists on things, on their menu. So it's not like your standard fare. And I absolutely loved it. They went there. They closed the place down on Friday night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good for them.
And I'm like, that's awesome. So she was like, oh my God. She's like, I walked in. And I was like, I won't steer you wrong. Come on, man. You know what places I like. So yeah. And I was like, you don't have the kid with you. Like, go on a date. So the Noble Goat in Downingtown. I give it 5 stars. We took my dad there a couple of weeks ago and he absolutely loved it. In fact, he had gotten a calamari dish. And normally my dad orders calamari and it's like heavily breaded with the marinara. And they served this. It was like lightly breaded and kind of sauteed, and then it had like an aioli sauce with it.
Yum.
And he just kind of like looked at it. Was like, oh, where's my marinara? And then he started eating it. And next thing you know, wasn't even like an issue.
Right. He's like,
and I'm like, so Pop, it looks like you're liking your calamari. And he's like, this is good stuff. He's like, I still like my marinara, but he's like, this is good stuff. So
this will do.
Yeah, so highly recommend that as well.
All right, so should we talk about that race that we ran yesterday?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
It was hot.
Hats off to Michael. Fabulous job as a race director.
Absolutely fabulous.
He puts on a top-notch race. Thank you so much for a
And I got to meet him before we ran, so I felt bad that I was sick the day that you guys went and interviewed him, which you did a fabulous job of. But it was nice connecting a face with a name, with him. And at the very end of the race, he popped in on our group picture, which I thought was awesome. So we'll definitely go and post that as well. So super nice guy.
Very nice guy. Puts on a hell of a race. Great job,
It's
Michael.
very, very well organized.
Yes.
How was the packet pickup?
It was simple.
Or the
I mean,
bib pickup.
we were perfectly timed. We right after we walked out of the theater after the movie, we literally just grabbed it and left, and there was a line built up after we had grabbed it. Probably also people coming out of the movie, but
yeah, maybe.
At the morning of the race, we all met up at my apartment, did a little bathroom charade, and then we walked down. I literally
Bathroom turnstile.
Yes.
I literally was a 1 minute walk to the start line.
I know. I was like looking at my watch, and
it was 6:40.
6:40, because we had 20 minutes, and I was like, all right, are we gonna get going? And you're like, I'm literally a minute from the start, and I'm like, dude, really? And like we literally like walked around the bakery, where you got the croissants. Which they were pumping out that.
The smell.
The smell.
Oh, dude, like that smell was freaking awesome.
Amazing.
And it's right near the trash can, so you're confused because it smells so good, like the delicious bakery, but you're surrounded by garbage cans, and you're like,
there's something not right here.
It doesn't feel right.
I would almost, because doesn't that where your window is to part of your apartment, can you actually smell it if you can't? Oh,
I cannot,
damn.
but
Thank goodness.
yeah, it's definitely
Goodness.
for the best.
I'd probably have a gluten attack all the time, smelling all that freaking flour coming through the air.
Yeah, but we were just waiting for the race to start, taking some pictures. I saw these people walking towards us, and I was like, what the hell? Who has our t-shirts? Like
mile 20.
These people wearing mile 20 t-shirts, and I was like, no one has those.
And Maggie's like, we're trademarked.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of weird. And then as I got closer, I was like, Mom, Laura!
It was Mary Beth and Julie.
It was so awesome. They came and they surprised us, and it was just so awesome.
It was really awesome to see them at the start. I was not expecting that at all.
Not at all.
I was like, oh my God.
In fact, when we had walked with Julie the day before, we're like, what do you got going on this weekend? She's like, nothing. And she started talking about the following weekend and stuff. And, we're like, okay, So, yeah. So she's like, fooled you guys.
Yeah, it was awesome because they actually were there at the start, and then they were amazing because they stuck around and they cheered us on.
And they stayed through that very end.
Yeah, shortly. We saw them shortly, right around the halfway point, and then they were there at the end, and it was just, it was wonderful to see their smiling faces and hear them supporting. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
It was awesome.
Just, we just, the love.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I was shocked, though, at how many people there were. So I think there was over 2,000 total. People could do day of registration. And I think Michael said we actually bumped into him during the festival on Saturday.
Yeah.
He said that there were 1,900 runners. So I think by the time people did day of registration, there had to have been over 2,000 total. So it was a great turnout.
Yeah, so they have, with the Blobfest running portion of it on Sunday, they have a half marathon, a 10K, a 5K, and a kids fun run. Mm-hmm. And they send the half marathon goes off at 7 a.m. first. Mm-hmm. I believe the 10K was at 8.
I'm not sure if the 10K and 5K were together or separate.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either because...
Maybe like 8, 8:30. They were pretty close.
They were very close.
Yeah, because by the time we were coming back for the first out and back, because there's 2 out and backs. So by the time we were coming back from the first out and back, the 10K had already started... making their way out. So we were like, oh, they probably started maybe...
Because it was like 8:06.
Yeah, it was definitely around 8.
I think they
started
probably
started around 8. That's our guess.
And the 5K, like the 10K ran past me when I was coming back, similarly after the first out and back. And then the 5K people started right behind me and I was going out. So I would venture to say they were probably like 8, 8:30, 8:15, like pretty close together. Not as far apart as the half and the 10K started.
Yeah.
But
and I think that even prior to the start of the race, Michael was very good in the race, with all of the information and the emails that went out prior to race day with parking information and the race information. It was very specific. He did say that the trails that are being used are not closed and that you should stay to the right. I did notice that in the communications. I'd say not all participants followed the directions, as is probably normal because
That's like any race.
It's like any race. I mean, I break some rules myself. When we wear our speaker, I play my music out loud. I'm sure that's a rule breaking thing.
We drink
there.
during the race.
We also drink during the race, yes. So, speaking of drinking during the race, as we had mentioned on previous episodes with our training for the Marathon du Medoc with the 23 wine stops, we decided.
Kill my liver.
But you don't have to do all of them. You can say
But
no.
it would be fun if we didn't do all of them, Margaret.
I feel like that's a challenge when you.
You shouldn't have said that to your mom.
Anyhow,
I've already said it.
Yeah.
We used yesterday as a training run, so we were not out there trying to break any records or run our fastest runs. We were using that. We would have normally had to have done a 12-mile run anyway, so we were using the half as a training run. We were using it. We're spottling. That's my second glass of wine. I'm putting that down now. We brought a bottle
Of Kim Crawford.
of Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc, because we decided after Broad Street that the red was a little dry.
It was very dry.
And we did the same thing we did at Broad Street that we did yesterday, where we stopped every mile and had a little dose of Kim Crawford.
I wrapped the bottle of Kim Crawford in aluminum foil to try to go and hold in as much of the coolness as possible. But being that it was muggy,
Oh, so
God.
it
much.
was so muggy.
We were swimming.
And our mile 3 picture I showed Jim last night, and I'm like, dude, it looks like I just came out of a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Like I was
dripping everywhere.
dripping. So, that bottle being right up against your back on your camelback. Yeah, that thing was cooking.
Along with the friction of my running.
If you were watching on YouTube, you just saw a vulgar hand gesture.
With me running. Because I was thinking about the bottle. That's not good.
Jeez.
Anyhow, yeah. But I have to say the Sauvignon Blanc is definitely the white way better than the red.
Yeah, so my hope is that when we are at Medoc, that the French do not go and insult us with like warm white wine. And that they find a way to go and keep the wine cool, because it would taste much better.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, because by the time like mile 10 hit, man, that wine was burning, going down.
It was very warm in my belly. That's all I know.
We took took video of each of the different miles, and like I think at mile 10, it was 9 or 10 after I drank my shot. I was just like, fuck. I was just like, oh my God, make it stop.
This was not a royal we. This was a these two.
Yeah, because you hung with us to mile 1.
She got to mile 1 and she goes, peace out. She looks at me and goes, I'm not stopping every mile, so you can drink wine. Bye. I'm like, okay,
Pretty
bye.
much, yeah.
Bye.
Pretty much. Yeah, I get too antsy, and they're having fun. I don't want to rain on their parade. I'm just going to keep going myself.
That's
and
okay.
That's fine.
I made
okay.
a friend.
Run your race.
Kevin.
Shout out Kevin.
If you're listening to
Kevin
this.
with the green bandana.
I really enjoyed our 2 or 3 miles together. We chatted. I pulled up next to him right when we were coming down Crombie, which is the biggest hill of the race.
Yeah, it's a huge hill.
And I was like, I don't know why I was in such a gabby mood. Everyone was like, good job. Hey. I have multiple friends out there. And I was pulling up behind him.
Not friends she actually knew.
Oh, no.
Race day friends.
Yes, race day friends.
We all have race day friends.
Yes. And I was like, I love your bright green bandana. And he was going a good pace. So then I just stayed in step with him.
Good for
and
you.
I had my AirPods and I was like, let me take my AirPods out. And then we just started talking. And
Wait, you were being super social and gabby?
Yes.
No way.
I know, that's incredible. I can't believe it.
yeah, so I got his whole life story. His daughter was also running the race. She was ahead of him a little way. So we saw her come by on the out and back. And yeah, it was just a great 2-3 miles of conversation.
that.
And it got me through that little chunk, and it was just fun. And yeah, it was nice to make a butt out there.
Yeah, so
Past the miles.
as we are still running out on I think it was the second out and back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Maggie's coming back the opposite direction, and she shouts to us make sure that when you see the guy with the green bandana, his name is Kevin, cheer him on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so then I'm like, turning to Lori, like thinking Lori knows who Kevin is. I'm like, who's Kevin? You're like, I don't know.
He's got a green bandana. That's what I know.
And then when we come across
Kevin.
I'm looking for, like, when you said green, what green do I think? I think
Army green?
Eagles green, dude. Eagles green
we
first.
bleed Eagles green.
So I'm looking for, like, Kelly green,
I see.
some kind of green. And then your mom, like, goes and she sees the guy and she's like, Kevin? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, that's not green. That's like,
It's neon green.
It's like neon-y.
It was neon green.
Yeah, that wasn't the green I was looking for. So I was like, thank God for your mom, because I would have totally ran past him
Yeah.
not thinking that was a green bandana. So shout out to Kevin.
Shout
Thank you
out
for
to
going and
Kevin.
entertaining Maggie for a couple of miles.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
great. We had great conversation, and it was nice to make a little butt out there.
Yeah. So just as you've gathered with the course, we begin and ended in front of the Colonial Theater.
Which I loved.
We ran, like, I don't even know what direction, but I guess towards Montgomery County, over the bridge. And then we took, like, a towpath.
It's
Yeah.
the Schuylkill River Trail East.
Schuylkill River Trail East path out for 5+ miles, like almost half the trip. And then you come back through town and you go out the regular Schuylkill River Trail towards Reading and back. The first leg, I would say, was gorgeous. It was along
beautiful.
the river.
Yeah.
There were water features, you know, where there were little creeks trickling in.
Yeah, and then there was a dam, and it was almost like the first, like, mile or two. You had the main river on our left, but then you had almost like a secondary, like, kind of like water deposit, like almost like a reservoir kind
No,
of
that
thing.
was like the old towpath, because it came with locks. So back in the day when they would move goods and services up the river,
Yeah.
there was a natural falls in Phoenixville that they couldn't navigate. So they would actually, that's what we were running on for a while, is called a towpath.
So did they use then the water on the right-hand side to go and move the goods?
Yeah, so they would move
Like
over
the kind of like
into that little
the kind
canal.
of fungi, the kind of fungi
Yeah.
looking
Yes.
water that didn't have movement.
So they would use
Oh, I
like
didn't know
horses
that.
or mules to help the barges move up or downstream,
Interesting.
navigating around. So like,
See what you
We're
don't
learning.
know.
so there's several places along the Schuylkill where there are towpaths like that.
Interesting, Lori.
I think that there's one also maybe down outside of Manayunk, I think.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. But yeah, that's what that was used for.
Interesting. Okay. And there were some people fishing, because you can
Yeah.
actually drive cars
Yeah.
on that road. It was not busy. I think we saw one or two cars like
Yeah.
total.
I think people probably saw the crowd, and
And they were
even
like, "Eh."
even bikers were like,
yeah, there
"Oh."
weren't any bikers
On that part.
On that
no.
part, no.
But I think that's because it turns to that. It was a lovely
Yes.
hard-packed, like a hard-packed dirt trail.
I totally agree. I loved
which
that.
Takes
I would love the whole
bikers
race
off
to
of
be
that.
on like that
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
aggregate. That was wonderful.
Yeah, so that part of the course was gorgeous.
And it was now we lucked out, because even though it was ridiculously hot and muggy, like 100% humidity, the first out and back was very well shaded.
yes.
So we were lucky because it was like super overcast. So we did not have any sun
A
whatsoever.
blessing.
It was
Yeah.
a blessing.
Such a blessing.
But I did like the fact that if we did have sun, that would have been just nicely shaded for
Yeah,
us.
definitely.
And you were right along the water
Yes.
that time too, which tends to run a
And,
little
and the
cooler.
air wasn't moving at all. I
No.
mean, it was stagnant.
Well,
When a breeze would come,
well, the first part of the race.
the first part of the race.
First part of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when a breeze would come, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I missed you. Air.
Yeah, we had a nice headwinds when we did the second out and back on the Schuylkill River Trail.
Yeah.
So when we turned around and came back, all of a sudden your mom and I were like, oh my God. Like, there's like normally, you know, as a runner, you hate a headwind.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh my God, now I got to work like twice as hard. And you're like, bring it, baby. Just bring the headwind.
Yes, it felt so
Just
wonderful.
air movement. We're like, oh my God. It's just awful.
Yeah. So again, Laura and I were towards the back of the pack. So
We were like,
So was I. Don't get it twisted.
yeah, but she was not that far back.
we had one person finish after us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had like 20.
Which, you know, honestly.
all good. It's all good.
All good. So when we started coming like we said, as we started coming back and almost we're getting off of that towpath area, going back towards downtown Phoenixville, the 10K had gone off. So there were a lot of 10Kers coming towards us at the time.
Yes.
But I thought that was well timed, actually.
That
like
was
the
very
hour
well
difference,
timed. And the path that we were on, where we were overlapping them going out, the path was wide enough.
Super wide.
You know, because you could probably do like 4 to 5 people like abreast going across the trail, so it wasn't super tight. Although some people were like totally didn't get out of your way, and I'm like, what is up with that? What's up with
half marathon bib? Half marathon bib.
It's like I'm running here, you know, and
yeah,
it's
you're 5 people across.
Yeah,
we're 2 people. Just give me a little space.
Yeah. That was a little annoying.
I got knocked by one person's
you
elbow
did
because I'm always on the left.
Yes.
No matter what, I'm always on the left.
Yes, we've talked about that, where we have this thing where Lori is always on my left hand
Even
side.
right now.
Yes.
Even right now. Yes.
Yes.
And so then
my neck doesn't know how to turn this way.
No. Maybe that's why I always have a kink in my neck.
Right? Yeah, it's my fault.
So then we go back through town, cross the bridge, go back through town, and
that's when we saw Mary Beth and Julie.
We saw Mary Beth and Julie, and we also picked up the 5K runners at this point. And the path is a little bit smaller. I would say maybe 6 to 8 feet across.
Yeah.
A little tougher to navigate, but again, we didn't care about time, and we actually kind of were talking about how we appreciated like that little bit of oomphy energy.
Do you remember when? So it was right after we picked up the 5K runners, and we had the song "Happy."
Yes.
And there's a portion of the song. Was it Pharrell Williams sings the song?
Yes.
And you know it's like happy, 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 and this like clapping.
Yeah.
And we heard someone clapping behind us. I mean, like, and totally clapping to the music.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, this is so cool, right? And lo and behold, it's like some like little guy.
He's got to been like
10, 11 years old.
Yes.
And we're like, and like your mom was like, oh my God, I love your energy. He's like, I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yes. I love that.
Like that was, you know, that was just, it was a moment.
That was a highlight.
That was a moment, you know, that was super, super nice. Yeah. And people were singing to our music, and, you know, so we were kind of weaving in and out of folks and so forth. So it wasn't bad for us, because again, we were picking up energy and we weren't going for time or anything like that.
No, but as we progressed a little bit through that area, I did kind of start to feel bad, because I was watching, I think some of the more elite half marathoners were kind of battling through some of like the walking slower 5K folks
coming back. Yes.
And I was like, ooh, that could be a little sticky, you know, just right in there.
Because it got a little tight.
It did get tight.
It got a little tight, and like, I mean, again, you and I were just being really patient about it, and you know, where we had to kind of like go almost like to like a almost like a running in place thing, because what we did when we saw a fellow half marathoner coming in the opposite direction, and if there was only like one space for somebody to get through, we let that person
because we knew they cared.
Because
you could see the distress on the face.
We're like you go. I'm just trying to get to my next mile marker to drink my wine. It's like not a priority today. Sorry.
Yeah. You go on.
Yeah. But I that would be the only thing, is it did get a little congested for the folks coming back up from the half.
Yeah. But Crombie Hill, I was a little scared of it.
Yeah, because Michael talked about that during his interview.
Yes.
And so, I had it in my, because I kept asking your mom, where's the fucking hill? Where's the hill? And she's like, I think it's on the second half.
It is.
She's like, according to Maggie. You know, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for it.
I have to say, I don't know about you, but I'm like, Crombie Hill going out, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a false peak for sure, like right where the first road crossing is.
Yes,
where you're
I
like,
agree.
okay, I got up, like, oh,
there's more hill.
You see it like kind of plateau a little bit, but then as you turn the corner, it's like up quite steeper. The top of the hill is exactly 1.5 miles from my apartment, so I enjoy like running up it for like a short run, because I just run to the top, and when you look down from the top, it's really steep to go down. So every time I get up there,
like the other side.
The other side of it.
Yes.
I always am like, I'm not going down, because then I have to come back up, and it is steep. It's
But
quite
during the
steep.
half marathon,
You gotta
had
come
to go
back.
down.
Yeah.
You had to go
Yes.
down and
Yes.
you came back up. I think we got lucky.
so
Because we
lucky.
timed it perfectly. We're like 4 minutes to fuel. I'm like, let's just make it to the base of Crombie and then we'll walk up
Perfect.
and
I know
fuel.
it's like it's an hour. Maybe we can wait another couple minutes and then
Yeah.
we'll go and fuel. So
Yeah.
so we did go and walk up the really
Yeah.
steep side of it.
I ran the best that I could, but I ended up walking it as well. It was hot.
It was
It was
really
really
hard.
I
hot.
drank 3 full water bottles.
Yeah.
And this might be TMI, I still didn't pee until like 3 p.m.
Yeah, that's
And
scary.
I drank
Oh,
like
wow.
3 water bottles.
I think I peed more than that after drinking wine and drinking lots
Yeah.
of water, which, for the record, we were very, very conscious of making sure we were ultra hydrated. We had lots of Gatorade while we were also drinking wine and doing our electrolytes and fueling properly.
And look, I mean, like we had like our little like
It's a shot.
our little shot glasses from Amazon that look like little wine glasses.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we had two. What is a bottle of wine is 2 glasses each.
Yeah.
So
Over 3 hours.
for over
3 and a half.
3.5. Yeah,
With
it took
a ton of water
Yeah, it took
mixed
us almost 3.5 hours to go and run the half marathon. But well, so I tell you what, yesterday was a humbling experience because like y'all saw me walking up and down the stairs before the podcast here. My quads have not hurt me this bad. And I can't remember a race where I hurt this much.
I can think of them.
Which one? Well, I can't
Tunnel
remember.
Light.
Yeah, but I can't remember the last one. Like it's been a
It's
hot
been a
minute.
while,
It's
yeah.
been a hot minute. And just 3 weeks ago, Maddie and I did a 14 miler like the morning that I was leaving for Portugal, right? So no problems whatsoever. I mean, hopped around the plane, no
Yeah.
issues. So I take 2 weeks off. Now, granted, I was not sedentary during those 2 weeks.
No.
Right? We're like walking all over
And
the place.
Portugal was very hilly.
Very hilly. But then I had like the week after this past week where I was sick and I didn't do anything last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I'm like freaking hurt. Like it's my first marathon.
Again, I think it was the gardening.
Yeah.
It was not the running.
I know.
It was the combination of both things.
Good
In excess.
God,
this
my
weekend.
my body is like screw you. And I stretched out, I rolled out, I like taking my Tylenol. I'm like, like again wanting to drink wine tonight. It's like but
Yeah.
definitely hydrating. But yeah, like so note to our listeners, maybe don't do gardening like before you do a half marathon and then immediately after you do a half
Yeah.
marathon.
Also, a good note to know is that with running, it's best to stay consistent.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
consistency will catch up with you.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about doing an 18-mile run this coming
Ugh.
weekend.
We're gonna do
That's
it.
a this
It's gonna be
weekend
great.
problem.
Yeah. The one thing you really need to watch out for, though, on that second half of the race are the cyclists. Most cyclists they're courteous, but you do have some that there was one cyclist that got a little too close to you.
Yeah.
And you just need to be careful, and because not all of them announce on your left, and sometimes you can't hear them.
As it says on the trails, you should do. As an avid cyclist myself, I say on your left, everyone I back.
Yes, so just that way, everybody stays safe. But the thing I do want to call out are the fantastic volunteers.
Oh my gosh, they were amazing.
That were at the water stops.
Which they were perfectly placed, well
Oh,
supported.
yeah.
Agreed.
Cold blue Gatorade, which is our favorite.
We love blue Gatorade, blue Powerade, blue.
Blue above all
Yes.
other color.
And it was cool too. It
Oh,
wasn't
it
warm.
was.
Yeah.
It was nice.
But then the volunteers, they had some funny signs in reference to the Blob.
Yeah.
We ran over some bridge that had, I don't know, they were custom made kind of balloons that looked like a blob. I mean, there was one lady that was like in a poodle skirt with saddle shoes. I don't know if young listeners know what saddle shoes are, but they're the black and white shoes from the 1950s.
Almost look like bowling shoes, if
Yes.
that helps at all.
Yes. So I thought that was cute that they all got into the spirit,
Yeah.
of the movie as well.
There was one sign where there was like feet hanging out from a car and then like chopped off arms and a blob. It was just it was really great. The theme was throughout the race, 100%.
It
All
definitely was.
weekend.
All weekend.
Phoenixville had Blob top to bottom.
Yeah,
they did.
and then when we came in at the very end of the race again, we were like second and third from the last. But I mean, there were still people who were at the finish and cheering us in, and Michael was there. He giving us a big hoo hoo.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny because we still had the bottle of Kim Crawford. So the official photographer was like, "Oh, can you guys pose?" So like I had like the beer bottle. I don't know if you saw this. I had the wine bottle like in my mouth. Like it probably looks like I'm. Yeah, never mind. Now that I'm thinking about that, I was like, wow, I probably should have done something different, like with the bottle of wine. Anyway, but yeah, he said that they were uploading, all of the pictures for free. And
that's such a nice perk when the photos are free.
Yeah.
Yeah, very just a community forward race.
Absolutely.
Yep,
Yeah,
I agree.
which was awesome. But I am so impressed by this medal.
The medal is so nice.
I love the medal.
My only gripe is that
boy, here it comes.
Here it
I'll
comes.
say it for you can't tell. I could have ran the 5K and say that I ran the half because you can't tell. And I get it. It's probably more economical, cost efficient, but it has all three: half marathon, 5K, 10K. It says Blobfest 2025. It's the Blob over the Colonial Theater.
Which I love.
Yes.
And then it's a movie ticket stub that says admit one survivor, seat row, section, row, and seat. That is the date 7/13/25.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even
I like
read
that.
Yeah, it just has Phoenixville and has the race engraved on here. It's just very detailed and very nice for a local race.
Here's what I'm going to say. If you are a 5K fan, this is probably one of the best 5K races medals you will get. You cannot get a better
run it
5K
for the medal.
medal right
Run it
here.
for
That
the
is
swag.
so true.
Yes.
So true. Now, I do just what I would have said was more gently, it would have been nice maybe to have a different color ribbon. Because that's maybe a little bit more cost effective.
Yeah,
you don't have to change the medal.
And we were talking about that the medal can stay the same, but the ribbon could have been a different color. But again, this is a small town race.
It is, yeah.
And chances
it's
are,
run.
and chances are it was about the cost factor and being able to go and buy in bulk versus having it. Specialized. But again, absolutely fantastic. And the shirts.
Yeah,
I love
the
the shirts.
They're so soft.
So soft and very comfortable.
Indescribable, indestructible. Nothing can stop it. The Blobfest. And it's like the movie poster with all the little tidbits from the weekend.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I felt really bad though for people who were running in this because it was so hot.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, it's very comfortable, but I
saw a woman actually who cut it into a tank top. She probably got a size down. So when she cut it, it was form-fitting. It was actually pretty cute. But she cut it into a tank top.
Wow.
So that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, we wore our mile 20 tank tops. Well, Lori and Maggie wore the ones that Lori had made up. Mine was done in Maryland. So I'm like, shit, I'm not wearing the black short sleeve t-shirt. I will die in that thing with the mile 20 on it. So I went out and bought at Staples a heat transfer. Like you print whatever you want, on the special paper, and then you use an iron to iron it on. I haven't done one of those since Maddie was probably in grade school. So mine, it didn't come out perfect, but you know what? It looked a little vintage,
Yeah.
and I represented equally.
Exactly.
So I was happy
good.
about that. All right. So girls, would you run this one again?
Yes.
Definitely. It's so convenient, and supporting the Colonial Theater, local running clubs, the whole thing top to bottom is just so
I agree.
Phoenixville community oriented. And since I currently live there and probably will live there for a while, might as well run it.
I agree. I would run it again, and I want to vindicate myself because of just of having such kind of a shitty run, and we will not be drinking.
We will not be drinking a bottle of wine the next time
we're
we
not
run
doing
it.
that anymore.
No,
we're
I
just
said
we're done with that.
At the end of this, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this. We've
I was
trained.
like, can you please talk into the microphone? See, we just got that on
Yes, I am
recorded.
done carrying a bottle of wine. At about mile 10, I think I said to you, I'm like, yeah, I'm over this backpack and I'm over the bottle.
Yeah,
in my bag.
I had to keep reapplying like Body Glide to your mom's shoulders because of chafing.
I got no chafing though.
Oh, thank God.
Thank you because
You're
of your
welcome.
intervention.
Yes, yeah.
Speak for yourself.
Yes, I know. Maggie got a little chafed as well.
Yeah, I got
so.
armpit chafed, and then as soon as I undressed to go shower, I noticed massive underboob chafing that has not been comfortable today, but
Honey,
that's okay.
that is not massive underboob chafing.
No.
You have a spot.
You have a
But
spot.
there's a couple spots.
Yeah.
There's some on.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
You remember that Marine Corps.
I do remember
I
that.
would imagine.
It's not massive.
Mom, Maggie. Mine was literally the entire way across.
It was the entire way across.
Under.
I'm
and
sure
on.
one
It's
day
because
I'll
it rained, and then it was humid, and
everything was wet.
and everything was wet and damp, and it's like close friction happens.
Yeah.
And chafing is for real. So
On that note,
looping up, yes.
Body glide. Even if I haven't chafed in a while, my entire under boob bra line area always lathered.
I think I got a video of Maggie going and helping you with the side boob.
Yeah, little side boob
action.
body.
So, yeah. All right, so what race are we talking about next week?
Next week we will be for episode 26, which I can't believe we're on episode 26
I know, it's so awesome.
already. It's
I know.
incredible.
Look at us.
I know. We will be talking about the New York City Marathon and maybe touching on your other New York race a little.
The Poughkeepsie one.
The Poughkeepsie one.
Oh God, I'd rather not talk about that one, but I will make mention of it.
I think
because
it's important.
It was
It's
a pretty
New York
race.
race.
It was a pretty race. It was a pretty race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so Laura New York was one of those states Laura had already ran when we met.
Right, before we had met. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but we wound up getting into New York City.
And it was like, well, friends don't let friends run New York alone.
And Julie.
And Julie got into New York.
So
Yep.
maybe we can convince her.
wow,
to come
all
on.
lottery?
I think
That's
we
like
were all
impossible
lottery.
now.
No, we got in via.
Your coworker.
Yeah, I had a contact
Yes.
that got us some bibs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah. But Julie got in, and then my daughter Maddie was our beer bitch.
Yes.
Because she was living in Manhattan at the time, and she just navigated the hell out of the freaking boroughs.
Yes,
So,
she did.
Yes, she did. So we are excited about talking New York City to you all next week. It was fun talking about the Blob. We will be back next year talking about the Blob again, because it sounds like we're going to run the shit again without wine.
Without wine.
And again, thank you for joining us. And now go make mile 20 your bitch this week.
Peace out.